The kind of spreadsheet program that you will find on your computer has a built-in function for calculating the standard deviation of a set of data. You only have the responsibility of making sure that data is entered correctly. Now, this example, we're going to use a Google Sheet, but you could use Microsoft Excel to complete a similar operation. Anytime you're performing an operation in a spreadsheet, you're probably going to want to begin by choosing the cell where you want that operation to show up. So I'm going to choose the cell A8, and I'm going to press equals. And that's telling the spreadsheet program, I'm getting ready to give you a command to do some kind of mathematical operation. And the command that I want, unbeknownst to them, it's not sum, which is what they give me as the default option, probably because that's the most common one that's used. We're going to use standard deviation. Now, in order to get to standard deviation, it is oftentimes an abbreviation for the command name. In this case, standard deviation is STDEV. Once I choose that option, you'll notice that a parentheses opens up. That parentheses is to give the program the argument, which is, what do I want you to find the standard deviation of? Now, fortunately for us, the built-in program allows us to just click and drag over those numbers of which we want to calculate the standard deviation. We close the parentheses to show that we're done with the standard deviation. We press enter, and there's our standard deviation, out to more decimal points than we probably need. You could mix together the standard deviation function with a rounding function to limit that to the certain whatever number of decimal places you need. You'll also notice that if we say enter, and you may not have caught this the first time, I'm going to do that one more time, but this time I'm going to click and drag over. And as we drag over, you'll notice at the bottom that it keeps changing. The standard deviation keeps changing the more numbers that I put in. That's because it's giving me a preview of that calculation for just that set of numbers. So if I change this to instead go to A4, for example, it's only looking at those first four numbers, and I can see right here that I'm getting the standard deviation from just those four numbers. But again, I can change it to 6, which is my whole data set, and I get the same answer that I did previously. So in the event that you don't have your calculator available to you, the kinds of resources that you can use for finding the standard deviation are limitless. You can Google standard deviation, and there's standard deviation calculators online. But Google Sheets is always a nice option because you're just a step away from entering all that data and then using the standard deviation function.